Now, there was an interesting column by my friend John Heyman in the Post today where he said, if the Yankees lose Soto to the Mets, there's a real good chance that they would go after Pete Alonso.
The Yankees.
Right. And I go, why?
Why?
I mean, if the Mets aren't going to give their homegrown star all that money, why would the Yankees do it? Well, I mean, you just moved Judge to first base. Why would you sign Pete Alonso to a 7-year deal? Doesn't make sense.
That's because for all the reasons the Mets wouldn't re-sign him, it's exactly why the Yankees wouldn't sign him. Or do they see something the Mets don't?
There's no way.
And you know,
first of all, you're going to sign another right-handed hitter for Yankee Stadium for what? And lock him up for 7 years? That makes no sense.
You know way better than I do, Michael. But I don't think Cashman and Steinbrenner play that game. Oh, let's stick it to the Mets, and we'll steal their player after they stole ours.
I don't think he meant it that way. He felt that was a good replacement for Soto. It's not.
How? Listen, I think
the Yankees have an option next year on Rizzo's contract. We'll see how Rizzo plays this year before they decide to pick it up. So even if they do need a first baseman, they're going to lock up Pete Alonso for 7 years?
And listen, is he a better player than Rizzo? Yeah, I would rather have Pete Alonso than Rizzo.
But I think I'd rather have Soto.
But all right, Soto leaves for an astronomical amount of money. But I'm sure Alonso is going to be asking for a lot too. Now let me ask you this: if the price comes down and you end up getting him cheaper than you thought, like let's say you can get him for $25 million a year, do you change your opinion on him?
I don't think so, because first of all, you got 2 more years left on LeMahieu's contract. He could play first.
Yeah, but can you count on that, man?
Well, I mean, I don't know what you could count on, what you can't count. But you would then, I mean, you're going to have to replace Soto unless they think that Spencer Jones is ready and Dominguez is ready. All of those things are in, but I just don't think that if it's $25 million down, then the Mets will keep him.
Oh, yeah, listen, I think the Mets are kind of greasing the skids for his exit because they think he's going to ask for money that they would never in a million years pay. But, as we've seen with other Boras clients, that you end up starting next spring training, and now he's not getting the money that he was looking for. And
well, let's put it this way, Don. If he signs with the Yankees, I'll be shocked. I don't think that's where they pivot if they lose Soto to the Mets.
And I believe that Cohen's smart enough to know how much this fan base feels about him, even though it may not be as much as people think. But I still think they would like Alonso to stay. That if the price came down, the Mets would keep him.
But I don't think they'd sign both. Not at 110% tax. If they're going to go after Soto, it's going to be $50 million a year.
I don't know what Cohen's appetite is for that. Like we talked about his aggressiveness for getting Soto. Like, what if this year bottoms out and they lose 100 games again? And do you realize something? This is a bad Met stat. Grassa told me this. You ready for this?
All right.
Since they opened Citi Field in 2009, only one time did the Mets have attendance over 18,000, other than 20 and 21 when you had the restrictions on attendance because of COVID.
Wait, like 18,000 average?
No, meaning like a game in which their attendance was less than 18,000.
Oh, less than 18. Okay.
It's happened 6 times already this year.
Wow.
So
if they hit rock bottom, Don, then it doesn't make sense to keep Alonso.
But if they hit rock bottom, would it be? Listen, I don't think anybody's going to go see a team that's lousy unless Pete's breaking the record for home runs in a season. You've already saw by the lack of attendance now that I think people weren't buying into this team yet. Maybe things will obviously change if they continue to play the way that they're playing. But if they bottom out, he might pull out every stop possible to try to make up for it, and money be damned.
But if they bottom out, they'll pay Soto $60 million a year. But
right.
I don't think that David Stearns is a fan of 30-year-old first basemen.
I get it, but
and I can't dismiss you, Don, because they're in a rebuild. Obviously, they're trying to straddle the line and rebuild and contend. If they were in a real rebuild, they trade Pete Alonso during the offseason.
Right.
But the fact that he is popular with the fan base, has forced them to keep him.
Right.
Now, maybe they trade him at the trade deadline, but if they're in it, you can't. But I think there's a real possibility he doesn't return. Maybe the Mets don't get Soto. Maybe Soto actually likes playing for the Yankees, and unless the Mets outbid the Yankees by like $10 million a year, they're not going to get him.
I really believe a lot of the decisions that were made this year were to get Soto at all costs. And if that's the case, then if it becomes that kind of a bidding war, then I could see the Steinbrenners tapping out. He might go crazy and go north of $50 million a year to lock this guy up. And if he's all about the dollar, which you would think he is since he has Boris as his agent, then I think it would be really hard for the Yankees to bring him back. But if he decides, hey, I love New York and I don't care about the money, well, then the Yankees, I think, have an excellent chance to bring him back. But if he's all about making the most money possible, and if he's not, fire Boris now, right? You can get any agent to get him a deal with the Yankees during the offseason. But if he's, because I think Cohen will go there.
Well, that was Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. Don, how about BetMGM? What are you thinking?
Hey, baseball fan.